Hi, so today I want to share how I balance school and my own personal reading. Before I jump in, I just want to tell you guys that I'm going to be doing a Q&A in about 2 weeks. So you can ask me questions in the comments of this video, or I'm going to also link down below my Q&A announcement so you can go there and ask me questions. I'm a full-time university student studying political science, and I really enjoy reading for myself, so outside of class. And I have found a couple of ways that make it easier to incorporate reading fiction along with all the articles and books that I have to read for my classes. So my first tip is that if you read a specific type of book for class, try to read something very different on your own time. So if you study a lot of philosophy and you read many texts by philosophers, maybe try to read fiction or other genres outside of class so that you're not constantly being reminded of school and of things that are stressing you out. On the other hand, it can be helpful to read books that complement your classes. So I've done this before where I'm taking a class and I think it would be helpful to read another book just to help me better understand the material, and I will do that. If you do, that's great, but it makes sense that you'd want to read something completely different on your own time. The next one is going to seem a bit obvious, but this is to incorporate reading into your schedule in a very obvious way. So for example, before going to bed, try to make yourself go to bed 30 minutes early and just read in bed. My third tip is to read during your breaks. Sometimes you're just on campus and you don't really have much to do. And if you find that you have 20 minutes, I would just say bring a book with you to class and read outside the class while you're waiting to go in, or read while you're eating your lunch. This could also work if you're working and you have your half-an-hour lunch. I know that I often read my book during my half-an-hour lunch because I didn't really have anything else to do. Also, on public transportation, you can read a book or you can listen to an audiobook. Basically, use the time that would otherwise be wasted by reading and making it productive. The fourth tip is to prioritize reading over other activities that you use to relax at the end of the day. For example, a lot of people like to watch many TV shows, and if you find that you're spending a lot of time watching TV and you don't really want to, then replace your TV watching by reading books. And my fifth tip is to choose the type of book you're going to read or at least the format, very wisely. First, to listen to audiobooks. So I find that audiobooks are much easier to listen to than reading a book on the bus or while walking between different classes. I find that I like listening to memoirs on audiobook, especially if the author is actually reading their own memoir. Next would be graphic novels. Because graphic novels are very heavily image-based, it's very different, I think, from the kind of stuff you're going to be reading for school. And I find that graphic novels are quicker to read, so you feel like you're making a bit more headway every time you pick it up than if you're reading a really long book. And finally, I find that short story collections are great because you can read one short story a day and feel like you're really accomplishing something and moving along in the book, and it sets a really good demarcation between what you read each day. Whereas I find with longer novels, you don't really know when to stop and then you always feel like you're missing something. But with short stories, there's a very natural place to stop reading.